Hey guys. Just want to thank everyone so much for coming out to celebrate the life of the legendary Tony Grana. There's so much I could say about his life and the people he impacted throughout his 92 years on this earth. The best way to describe my grandfather would be a family man. There's not one single thing he wouldn't do for the people that he loved. He was the most selfless person that I've ever known, and he left a lasting impact on everyone he crossed paths with. I can't think of anyone that lived a fuller life than my grandfather. From being in the military to raising 5 children, and from what the stories I've heard, that was probably his toughest challenge, to opening up Italian restaurants all over Rochester that would be the coolest hangout spots in town, and even seeing his great-grandchildren grow up. He was a legend in every sense of the word. In his last years of life, we would always talk about my grandmother and how much he missed her. We would sit there and he would start laughing at how he couldn't believe that he was the one she chose to be with. The prettiest girl in Naples, Florida, he would say. 65 years together, the type of love that people make movies about. We will all miss my grandfather more than anything, but there is solace in the fact that he is reunited with my Grammy in heaven. There are a lot of things I'll miss about my papa. I'll miss playing gin rummy with him, and on the seldom occasion where I would win, I would break out what we called the victory dance. And he would get the biggest kick out of that, and the smile on his face was priceless every time. I'll also miss the life advice he would give me. A good example would be a few years ago before I moved to Kansas City. I said, "Papa, you have any words of wisdom for me before I go?" His response was simply, "Yeah, don't be a wise guy," which at the time turned out the best advice I could have gotten. But yeah, he was truly one of my best friends. I just want to take a quick second to recognize my mom, Kelly. From our entire family, we want to thank you for putting your life on the back burner and taking care of Papa all the years that you did. In his final chapter of life, he was treated like the true king that he was, and I know he appreciated you for that very much. Papa had 5 children, countless grandchildren, and even great-grandchildren that all looked up to him. He was the glue that held our family together and the person we leaned on when times were tough. I just want to take a second to share some of the memories that my family had with Papa to you guys. My Aunt Kitty and Aunt Teresa both said that they will always cherish the father-daughter dance they shared with Papa, and they also mentioned that it was really nice that he let them drive his convertible to school sometimes. Aunt Mary said she always looked forward to the long phone calls with Papa where he would call her Mary Elizabeth, and he would tell her that she can call and collect anytime, even though we didn't have cell phones at the time. My Uncle Billy has a great story about Papa that I wanted to share with you guys real quick. So when he was 6 years old, the whole family got in the station wagon and went from Naples, Florida to Rochester, New York. My papa stopped to get some gas, and Billy snuck out of the back seat, went in the gas station. At 6 years old, he grabbed a Yoo-hoo. It was about 15 minutes into his drive, he realized that Billy wasn't in the car anymore. So he had to go back to the gas station and pick Billy up. And after picking him up, Billy said, "Hey Papa, it'll make me feel better if you let me wear your watch." So Papa let him wear his watch, in which Billy immediately proceeded to throw his watch out of the window on the highway. He said, "Dad, I just threw your watch out the window, now we're even." To which Papa very calmly looked in his rearview mirror and all he did was wink at him. Billy said that he was one of the most forgiving people you'll ever meet. My cousins Nathan and Brooke, they said they'll always remember the times when they would go to Willow Ponds and they would look for all the gemstones that they would find along the normal rocks around the place. It was only till years later they found out that Papa was actually just slipping the rocks out and putting them there the night before. My cousin Anthony loved when he would go to Legacy to hang out with Papa and Grammy. They would play checkers, and even though Papa would usually always win, he still said he had the best time. My cousin Jennifer, she said her favorite memories of Papa would be when he would pick her up from school or sports or whatever it was, and they would play Name That Tune. And if she got it right, she would get $1. So he pretty much all but gave her the answer just so she could get the $1. And just talking over a banana split at Friendly's or wherever it was about the good things and the bad things that were going on at the time. My sister Samantha, she enjoyed the times where we would sleep over Papa's house at Willow Ponds, and Papa would push her entire swing out front. Or when we would go there with the entire family for Christmas and there would be presents stacked up to the ceiling. Papa always made sure we had the best Christmases. My cousins Sean and Brett, they were very appreciative that Papa was always at all their sporting events no matter what. He had tons of kids, tons of grandkids, a lot going on, restaurants, and he always made sure he was at all of their games. Sean also mentioned it was really thoughtful of him to leave his Playboys lying around the house from time to time. Even though he had so many grandchildren, he always made time for each one of them and made them feel special and like they were his best friends. Last but not least, I want to read a letter that my late cousin Cody Grana wrote for my Papa years back. There just aren't enough hours in a day to tell one how much you do for this family. Just hearing your voice will get us through even the toughest day. You might not realize it, but you hold the biggest effect upon the rest of us, which lets the rest of your family know how to be more like you. Caring, considerate, and understanding. All of these characteristics don't sound like a father or a grandfather, but a friend. And that is what you are, a friend to all. Your favoriteest grandkid, Cody Grana. These are all memories that my family and I will hold near and dear to our hearts for the rest of our lives. And we'll do our best job to carry on the legacy that Tony Grana left for us. I know Papa's watching down on us right now with Grammy smiling. So I'll leave you all with his favorite words. God bless you, and I love you a bushel of peck and a hug around the neck. Thanks.